It's Elena Reeves representing Clayton County. I'm in an apartment with Parlay.
Hey, Parlay, meet me at the Partments.
Yo, it's your boy Parlay, and we back in the apartment with Parlay. Meet me in the Partments. Love my city. ATL. We popping. We popping. But today, one of the popping reasons is not usually what the reason is, but the focus is more on something that really is going to help the people, something that I think need to be more topics of conversations. I think more open dialogue needs to happen with this, and that's politics. And today we're going to talk about local politics because of all the politics and a lot of politicking. I think local politics is the most important because your voice can be directly heard, your wants and needs can be directly impacted without trying to get too big. You electing the people that work for you in your community, I think that's very important. And I think that's really reachable. And I think when people get really caught up in like the president election and all this other stuff, it kind of turns people off of the politics because it's like it's too much. It's this person and this person and this person. Well, local politics, if you get a chance to learn the person who you vote for, learn their characteristics, learn what they really stand for, then you probably get a good idea of who you're voting for. Because 9 times out of 10, local politics, your local politicians have to stay where they're running for. So you get a chance to dive in and really find out who these people are. And today what my next guest is, she's doing that right now. She's making a difference. She's been doing things to set this platform up and really been in politics on a big level. So her expertise, I'm pretty sure she can bring and help the county of Clayton County. I'd like to welcome Alaina Reeves to the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
No problem. Thank you, man. Thank you for coming. I want to say thank you for what you're doing. I'm gonna say that first, because if you weren't doing what you're doing, you wouldn't be able to share your experiences and testimonies on this platform. And one of the biggest things about me having this platform is to educate. A lot of times when people have podcasts, especially artists, it becomes a rapper's podcast or entertainment podcast, or the podcast is about what's going on in the industry and the blogs, and it's never about real life stuff.
Right.
And I'm just glad to be able to share this platform for you to be able to have this dialogue with the people. You know what I'm saying?
And thank you for opening that up. I mean, when we talk about local politics, exactly what you said, being able to meet the person that's going to make decisions on your everyday life is so important. And so being able for you to use your platform to say, y'all, let's talk about local politics. You know, I appreciate that. And I'm glad to be in here today.
No, man, no, it's cool because I'm just getting into the politics. if it's mean to say. Last year with me, with my friend Chris Reaves running for DA, and I ended up understanding and finding out the importance of it from a friend of mine who lives a similar lifestyle to mine in Detroit. And he told me, no, like this does this helps this does this. And I say, oh man, well, this helps the streets. If I tell the streets this, how it changed, and we can help this and get this person in there. Now we got a bigger voice, because if we help you get elected and you know this, you're going to listen to our voice or the person that represents the community. So I say, you know what, like, I can make this work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so when I got into it, I really started understanding what's going on and the importance. And me being in this helps me decipher through the bullshit and the non-bullshit also. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's easy to get caught up in the bullshit with politics. Especially, I call it the naive bone. When you just get into politics and you're a good person, you just want good to happen, so you just asking people and people saying I'm gonna do this good, and you find out you into them and you represent them. Now you find out they ain't really doing good shit.
Right.
But now you in the like I don't vouch for this person that gets my face card. Now this person is doing this. I don't found that part out real fast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now I know what to stay away from. I know how to be like, nah, it ain't for me. Oh, I ain't. Oh, no, this is for me. This is what I'm gonna do. And I think I done found my zone for the streets. If it's not directed toward the streets and the people in the community and poverty, don't add me.
All right.
You see what I'm saying?
But I mean, I think that goes back to voter education. Like you talked about, you learn what a DA does. I mean, I got into politics by accident. I wasn't trying to be a politician. I don't want to be a politician. I want to be a public servant. And I mean, part of that has been talking to the voters in Clayton County about what a county commissioner does and, you know, what effect that has on this aspect of their life or that aspect of their life. And it has to be just not, it can't just be, oh, I want you to vote for me. It's let me tell you what county commissioner does and how that would affect you. And if you choose to elect me, here are the things that I want to do to help better your life. And so having, you know, candidates and having people and elected officials who really want to help their community.
So we're gonna say we're not gonna say politicians. All right. Even though the word, well, I'm gonna say this. Instead of politician, we're gonna say educator.
All right.
Okay? Because for the reason that you got into it was to educate people.
Yeah.
But in the sense of when people start to vote and stuff, everybody just put that's in politics. So right now, when we say politics, we mean educators.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? What we talking about? Because that's what I feel like I am.
Yeah.
I'm an educator.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? What got you into educating?
I wanted to help my community. And I know everybody says that, but I in high school I did the most. But I was volunteering. I was at the Boys and Girls Club. I led like 3 blood drives in college. I was like, you know, this is what I want to do. I thought I was going to go into the nonprofit sector. And in 2011, when they passed, you know, Obamacare, or the Affordable Care Act, I saw how one person could sign a bill, have it passed, and, you know, almost overnight, hundreds of thousands of people were able to go to the doctor, go to the dentist, and, you know, take care of themselves and be healthy and be able to actually live their lives. And I said, oh, wait a minute, I need to start looking at policies. So I started, you know, I went to the Andrew Young School of Policy Studies, and I learned about all the different types of policies, fiscal policies on every level of government. Mm-hmm. And it stuck. I'm in it because if you write really well-crafted legislation, then you can change people's lives, not just, you know, their life now, but for generations.
Yeah, definitely. I think that I think people don't really understand how important it is. With me being educated on this, sometimes these councils get elected with 100 votes.
Yep.
200 votes.
Yep.
I know 1,000 people right now I can call and just say, hey, vote for this, and they'll do it without even asking me what it is. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, wow, so the people who really write all the laws and the stuff that we're really doing and who really pass this stuff get voted in off 200 people. Mm-hmm. So I started saying, what's the problem? It's the bridge is the people who run and the people who are affected by being connected.
Right.
And I want to service that bridge.
Yes, and we can't take away the system that's in place around how people vote, even when we have elections, and how much do people know about when an election is going to take place and how to vote. So I'm running in a special election for County Commission District 1, and I'm headed to the runoff now, but our election was in September. Most folks aren't thinking about voting in September. So there was a lot of voter education going out, knocking on folks' doors like, hey, did you know there's a special election? Let me tell you a little bit about the election and what a county commissioner does. And this is how you vote. These are the 5 locations where you can vote. These are the times that you can vote. And this is the last day that you can vote. And so being able to have a system set up so that the voters know about the election and also how they can participate. It's candidates. It's the actual voting system. and then the people and the voters who will be affected by those decisions.
What do you think would be the best way to let people know when these elections are going on, especially with social media? And this is it's personal question, Chase. What do you think that can help? Because it might be something that I can do to kind of help this situation out too. So what do you think that ways that we can go about, that people can go about letting the public know when these elections are going on?
This right here. I mean, having a conversation about upcoming elections. My election is October 19th. The city of Atlanta and all around Georgia, they have municipal elections where they're voting on the mayors and city council persons. So just being able to have a platform to say, hey, go to the Secretary of State's website and check and see if you have an election. Just that's the first step. Check and see if you have an election. Check and make sure that you're registered to vote. I mean, that's the first step.
Let me ask you this then. When do they have elections early in the year, or is it usually after the summertime? The reason I'm asking, because I want to kind of direct people's mind. I don't want people to be like, well, ain't nobody voting until June, July, August. Then it's an election in February, and they just not checking for it. So that's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
Usually, how do they usually do elections? Can it happen any part of the year?
Yes, I'm stopping because it's the primary elections, which happen at the beginning of the year in Georgia. It's March or May. I know I should know. I forget, but it's one of the M months. But that's
especially with the big elections you just got off of.
So in the springtime, right? March or May, you got your primary elections that decides who goes to the general election. And I mean, that happens almost every year in Georgia. Like every year is an election year. So people should just always be in the mindset of, I might have to vote this year. Let me see if I have an election in March or May, and if I have to vote again in November. We should just always be ready to get ready to cast our ballot. But it's also, I don't want to just focus on elections and, from one election to the next. It's really about having a conversation with folks throughout. So even when there's not an election, like in June or July, let's have conversations about what's going on in your life and how can we get you connected with the educator who can help. And do you need to connect with the DA? Do you need to connect with the mayor? Do you need to connect with your county commissioner? Because you can do that year round, even when it's not an election.
Okay, no, that's very important. Cause I just be wanting to tell people, springtime, it's gonna be some get ready to vote. So if it's springtime, it's gonna be any kind of elections going on. You may want to start checking in end of the year, beginning of the year, what we got coming up. If you know that fall time is when other elections are going to go on, in the summertime, that's when you want to start finding out who you need to get in there, who's running, so you can start doing background checks and really find out who these people are. Exactly. So basically, it's usually spring, fall.
Exactly.
So winter, summer is the skip. So winter, summertime is the time we need to find out who we need to vote for, basically. Yes. Okay. Nah, that's important. Let's talk a little bit about Clayton County Commissioner.
All right, yeah.
And the seat that you're running for right now. How did this opportunity come about?
Unfortunately, earlier this year, Clayton County lost my commissioner, Sonia Singleton Gregory. She passed away from a long-time battle with ovarian cancer, and she was, an ardent advocate for early detection for ovarian cancer, and she was a Delta, as I know you got some Greeks watching. So she was an amazing woman, and after her passing, the Clayton County Board of Elections called a special election to fill the last year of her seat. So this is kind of a one-off special election, and it's been a whirlwind because it was announced in June. I started running in May, and the election was September 21st.
How many people was it in the election?
It was 10 folks.
That's a lot of people talking about being elected. You got to decipher out of 10 people. That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
And you end up making it to the runoff,
yes.
right? So really, you top two.
Top two, that's
basically.
It.
You know what I'm saying? Did you have any experience with these things before this election?
Yeah, so I mean, the county commissioners, they run the county. They set the budget. They decide what type of businesses and developments are coming to Clayton County. They decide, transportation options.
Parks and Recs.
And Parks and Recs.
Yes.
And I serve in the city of Morrow on the Urban Redevelopment Agency, and that's exactly what we do. We do economic development on the city level in Morrow, and then I also serve on the MARTA Citizens Advisory Board. So, we do work with transportation. And so I have been doing that work, in Clayton County on both the city level and the city where I live, but also countywide.
So basically, you were around it. You like the MVP. You know how to shoot the basketball. You know how to shoot the three. You know how to drive. You've been learning how to dunk, pass, play defense. So you really been getting built up and ready for this opportunity. So it's really like God's gift is just saying, "Hey, your time is now."
I like the way you put that, because I definitely feel like this is it's an opportunity I'm grateful for. I'm from Clayton County. I grew up in Riverdale, and Clayton County is home to me. So to have the opportunity to actually serve the community that raised
you grew up
me,
in?
That's everything.
Yeah, from hearing all that, you already sound like the best candidate already.
Well, thank you.
Like, hey, who better do you want overseeing what's going on in your community than the person who's from there, who really understand it? You know what I'm saying? I think that's one of the reasons why policing is so bad. Because police communities and areas that they didn't grow up in. So you don't know nobody. You don't know that little Reggie really crazy because his mama was a schizo, his dad was a schizo, so we got to deal with him a little different. They don't be understanding that. So it's always good to have people who really from where you from to help you in the situation that you got going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What high school did you go to down there? Walk behind the camera.
I started at Riverdale High School, but I graduated from Woodward Academy.
Okay.
I'm a little fancy.
Okay, no, it's okay. Shout out to Woodward. I got one of my football players goes to Woodward.
All right.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. You still on the south side?
Yeah.
Still on the south side.
Yeah.
What did when you went to college? What did you major in?
Public policy.
Public policy. What made you want to do public policies?
Laws change lives. Mm-hmm. If you have a well-written law, you can
execute a plan.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a good example.
Yeah,
that's not execute a plan. Trouble, but yeah.
Yeah, execute a plan. The thing with Obama, that happened first before you end up going to school, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's kind of what drove you
exactly.
to really go there.
Exactly.
Let's talk to the people about and explain to them really in detail about what a commissioner, how the outreach that commissioners really have in a way that it affects directly their living situations.
Yeah.
So let's just say, just a scenario, we have somebody on this street and it's hard for them to do things because they keep busting their tire because you got big potholes in the street.
Yep.
How would they go about reaching out to the commissioner to get that situated? And how would the commissioner help them in their role?
Yeah, that's a spot-on example because Ellenwood, the Clayton County part of Ellenwood, when I talk to the voters out there, that's a lot of what they're talking about because we have a lot of truck traffic with 675, 285, and 75. So, sometimes the roads fall out of repair. So just being able to call up the Board of Commissioners, talk directly to your commissioner and say, hey, this is what's going on at this intersection, or in Clayton County, they have an app for that. It's Click Clayton, and you take a picture and upload it and send it in and say, this is what's happening. When you talk about what local politician affects your day-to-day life, it's that county commissioner. You wake up in the morning, you drive into work, it's a pothole, you call them. You driving on your way to work and you want to pick up some coffee. Are there coffee shops, or do you have to drive 5 miles to the next county before you can get a Starbucks or whatever type of coffee you want to drink? So those types of things that you see in your community, that's what the county commissioner does.
Okay, then because I coach football here in Atlanta, and one thing that I know is really big is these programs having adequate parks for these kids to practice at and really having the tools that they need to practice.
Right.
Instead of just having, okay, you can just get this field right here, but yeah, we got a big field to practice at, but it has no bathroom for the moms. It has no bathrooms for the cheerleaders or for the players. How would somebody with a program who wants to use a park in Clayton County that's maybe haven't been used or not really being used like that, how would they go about making that process happen or making that process being able to use a park for their program?
Yeah, I thought you were going to ask me a football question. I don't know anything about football. I'm like, you can go ahead and coach the kids because it's got to be somebody who knows about football to do that. I don't. But, I mean, call up the county commissioner's office, but call up Parks and Rec and talk to the person in Parks and Rec and say, you know, what fields are available, when are they available. But, you know, something else the county commissioner does is make sure that the parks are maintained. I mean, I've heard from folks who say we went to have football practice or, you know, cheerleading practice and the grass hadn't been cut. And
That's a big one.
Yeah. And, you know, because of COVID, some of the bathrooms have been closed because of COVID. But, you know, some locations don't have facilities at all. And what I don't want to happen, particularly in Clayton County, because I really do, I love Clayton County, is let's make sure that our Clayton County parks facilities, you know, look just as nice as the ones that I see down in Henry and just as nice as the ones that are in DeKalb. And so just really being able to make sure that there's money in the budget to pay so that we have nice facilities for the kids to go play football, or if they want to play lacrosse and run track, let's make sure that we have all the options for them, but they actually have a place to do it that's nice, well maintained, and like you said, you know, has the facilities, bathrooms, water fountains, everything they need.
Do you have any focal points that you focus on as you run for commissioner, or things that you want to see happen in Clayton County or done in Clayton County?
Yeah, but I mean, I think I mentioned I'm a nerd, and so I talk about.
I am too.
Okay, all right, good. I talk about zoning policy because, you know, people say, well, I want this type of business, or I want that type of business, or I want to see multifamily housing condominiums, and I say, okay, let's talk about zoning policy. Let's talk about, you know, having an opportunity to redraw the zoning maps in Clayton County so that we can say, all right, this area is mixed use, you know, this area is commercial, and, you know, we're going to keep this area over here industrial so that the warehouses and logistics hubs and the logistics centers, you know, don't interfere with people's everyday lives when they're trying to get back and forth to work or go out to dinner. You know, all of those things go back to the decisions that the planning and zoning board makes and the zoning maps.
I think that is the single most hidden, biggest objective everywhere, especially in black communities.
Yeah.
Because the first thing they do when the area gets bad is just say, you know what? No, y'all can have it. Rezone.
Yeah.
And I don't think people touch on it enough. And what it's causing to do is it's causing everybody push everybody in a certain zone. And for the streets, that's how you start getting bad areas. Mm-hmm. That's how you start getting trouble areas. Mm-hmm. The zoning. So if you into the zoning and you're in the zoning process, you can say, no, you're not gonna do that right here because that's gonna make crime get bad over here. It's gonna make policing get bad over here, and we don't want that. And then you go to your DA and your police chief, and so that's how all these things tie in to what's going on.
Exactly. And the county commissioners get to decide who sits on, you know, boards and, you know, commissions. So like the planning and zoning board, county commissioners get to say, you know, I want these members of the community to serve as a representative on the planning and zoning board so that, you know, so that the community actually has a say in what they want to see.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm finna go most important to your community or county in order, right?
Okay.
First, it would be the commissioner.
Yeah.
Second would be the mayor.
For the cities, yeah.
Third would be the governor, right?
Wait, you said the governor of the state?
Yeah. I'm just saying the commissioner says what goes on.
Yeah.
The only person that has, not say more say so, but another voice of the commissioner would be the mayor, right?
Yeah.
And the only person that has the voice over the mayor is the governor, right?
It's governor at the top, and then your state reps on the state house and the state senate side.
Okay.
And then your county commissioners, and then your mayor and city council.
All right, so it's mayor, commissioners, state representatives.
Yeah.
Okay, boom. So I'm just saying that for the viewers.
Yeah.
So commissioner is really, really very, very important because that's the person who's not just going to put people in position, but also check off on the laws and stuff that's coming in for this county. So your commissioner could be like, no, we ain't doing that. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Right or wrong? Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, so I think it's important. If you stay in Clayton County and you have kids, if you grew up there, and you're watching this, spread the word. I think that this would be a great candidate for y'all up there. And just don't listen to me, listen to the things that she's saying. And listen to all the things she's saying that she can be able to do to help y'all people. And then it ain't nothing but 2 people left.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Is the other person from Clayton County also?
I'm not sure where she's from.
Oh, if you don't know unless you're Clayton County, then 9 times out of 10, they ain't from Clayton County. Because one thing about it, you at me, you gonna say, Parlay, I'm from Atlanta.
Right.
You gonna know where I'm from.
No question.
Yeah, you gonna know where I'm from. You know where I'm from. So I think that's great. Also, let's talk about your experience. You worked on the Hillary campaign, right?
I did.
What actually did you do with the Hillary campaign?
I was a regional field director, so I was over like 8 counties, just making sure that folks knew where to vote, when to vote, how to vote. And I worked on the Hillary campaign for a year and actually started in Nevada. I drove over to Florida, worked up in Pennsylvania. And when I came back down for the general election in November, I actually got to work in Georgia because I wanted to work back here in Georgia. But Clayton County was one of the areas that I was in charge of, making sure that folks were getting out to vote.
Okay, now let's talk about I think it has been the most important election in Georgia history. I really feel like it.
All right.
And you was a part of that, right?
Yeah.
The Warnock election, right?
Yep.
And I'm like, is it anything else that, especially lately, that has been bigger than that for Georgia?
No, I mean
that was huge.
We broke records when set history.
Yes, it probably been ever like this. That was real big. Tell me about that experience. Tell me about that process, and also tell me, I guess first before you do that, tell me how you got involved in that first.
Yeah, I mean, I got in, my first campaign was the Hillary campaign, and I mean, when we talk about policies and making sure that good policy is passed, it's got to go back to who the person is that you elect. So that's how I kind of got involved in campaigning, working on the Hillary campaign, working on Stacey Abrams' campaign, working a little bit on the Biden, Kamala Harris campaign, and Warnock and Ossoff when they ran for Senate. But I mean, all that work I did was in Clayton County, just making sure that folks knew how important their vote is. I tell folks, in the presidential election, the first 2 states, Iowa and New Hampshire, those voters, they say, I'm not voting for this presidential candidate if they don't knock on my door and talk to me personally. And that's what Georgia voters are getting that sense of. There are candidates who are running for national positions who are like, I got to go talk to these Georgia voters. And, for Warnock and Ossoff, when they won and they gave the Democrats in the Senate the majority, I mean,
that
big. Was Georgia. That was Georgia that did that.
And then you got to think, it's like David knocking out Goliath. Like, it's like,
yep.
Like we upset at the big bad bear. Like we really like that was big. Mm-hmm. And I think politics, back to that word again, but I'm gonna quote, I think politics are getting bigger because I think the kids are being more exposed to what's going on and being able to understand how important voting is. Like I say, I'm 38 years old. I didn't really start getting into this stuff until last year. You know what I'm saying? So I missed 37 years of really understanding how to affect my community, and I've been in a position to help my community for 15 years. You see what I'm saying? So the biggest time I have the biggest voice, I really failed at this part of it because I was never taught. I was never educated this. And I think that just telling the kids on what's going on and how to go on was going to really affect and change what we got going on and enable blacks to start grabbing stuff back, start holding stuff back, and understand the importance of building a community.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think that's important. So I think what you're doing, I think that's great. I think that more people need to get into it and understand it, like you, seeing what Obama did and saying, oh, this is important. Mm-hmm. And so you know what, I'm finna go to school to do this.
Right. This
whole path and how you feel led you into all these different campaigns, and you just so happened to do all these things in the county that you're from, and now you're in the position to be able to lead your county like you already been doing, and I think that's a great thing. So you've already been leading, you've already been So it ain't like you're capping when you're telling the people what you want to do.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It
Yeah.
ain't like you're capping. You've been doing it already.
Right.
You done put the miles on the concrete. You done went door to door. You done did the thing. So I just think, like I say, I think you already won.
Appreciate that.
I think you just gotta own it.
Yeah.
You know? I think you just gotta own it.
And I got to get the folks to go out and vote.
Definitely.
Like,
No,
I
definitely.
need for them to
Definitely.
know where to vote, when to vote.
So what? Okay, Bill. So let's go to that. Let's get the information for the people who watching. Where are the locations that they're gonna be able to go vote at?
So you can find all the information on my website, alainaforclayton.com. So, ALAINAFOR Clayton.com. And you can check out the election day, October 19th. You can check out the locations where you can vote and when early voting starts.
So you know what I'm saying? Well, in the hood, right? Everybody get a nickname in the hood. Everybody get a nickname in the hood. So you come to the Partments, you can't leave without a nickname.
All right.
Alaina. We're gonna bring it back.
All right.
We're gonna bring it back.
All right.
Alaina.
Yep.
Alaina.
Yep.
In the Partments.
Yep.
Hey man, I just want to say blessings on your on this runoff. Going to push it out. Everybody in Clayton County, the people who I know, gonna get the word out there. We're gonna use our platform to do that.
Appreciate
The
that.
energy is great. I'm energy based. I'm go off energy,
Yeah.
and I can tell when people are being politicians. So that's why I really think that you're an educator and not a politician.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Keep having love for what you do. Keep being a pioneer, a trailblazer. Keep speaking up. Black Queen Magic. Love my black women are doing things, and you know what I'm saying, being the voice.
Yeah.
Just keep growing, keep growing, and not just here. Anything in the future that I can do to help. Even if off camera. I'm willing to help the community. Period. In the community. You know what I'm saying? Clayton County Atlanta too now. So
Well, this is the open invitation to come to Clayton County on the south side.
Yeah. Oh, hey man, we there.
Right.
We there. We definitely there. We had to put together some events. So when you get in the office, when you get the seat,
All right.
I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna say we gotta do something for Clayton County.
All right. Yeah.
We're gonna put something together, and we're gonna figure out what it is, and we're gonna move.
Okay.
I want to say thank you for coming by, taking your time out.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say to the people before we leave?
Just I need for you all to go vote.
Give me the date again.
October 19th. It's Tuesday, October 19th. Head to the polls. Take a friend with you. I don't care if you drive, walk, or ride your bike. I need you to get out into the polls and to vote Elena Reeves, Clayton County Commission District 1 on October 19th.
October 19th. It don't matter. Can they mail in? I'm just asking just in case somebody want to ask.
That's a great question that I don't have the answer to because it's a special election right before another election. I'm still working to figure that out.
We're gonna figure it out. And by the time we drop, I have all the information up under the post.
Yeah.
So everything that's going on, all the information y'all gonna need to vote, figure it out. We'll have it up under the post.
Yeah.
So thank you for your time. Thank you for coming out.
Thanks for having me.
God bless you, man.
All right.
Till next time, it's your boy Parlay. We in the Partment with Parlay. Meet me in the Partments.